Hey, it's Andrew again, and what I have here is my new mob crushing chamber design. So, basically all you have to do is hit the button, it crushes them to exactly one hit, and keeps more of them out with the piston on top until you hit the button again, so it gives you time to punch all of them, and whenever you want more, just hit the button again and it opens up. It's most compact I've seen, because it uses the new hopper timer setup that I showed in my other video. And I'm going to show you how to build it without too much trouble. So, the first thing you're probably going to want to do is set up your pistons where you want the mobs to fall. So, I use 2 crushing pistons just because it seems to work best for me. You can probably get away with just 1 of them, but if you do that, you're going to want them to be right next to the second piston that goes up on top. So, you can place the pistons any way you want to. I'm just doing all this to get the basic layout in. Just make sure they're both going onto the same column here. And from here you can put in your glass, however you want to do it. It doesn't have to be glass, it can be anything that keeps the mobs in. So, from there, I'm gonna need to go over diagonal 2 from the back and put a lamp in. Yeah, that's actually needs to be 1 more over. That's what I thought. It's a little tight. Okay, so with this here, is that right still? No, must be getting late. Okay, it should be directly next to the glass there. And from there you're going to have a torch on the side of it, and dust coming into the hopper flip-flop design I have. And basically you want to have 2 hoppers pointing into each other, with the dust going next to one of them, and the torch where that dust is pointing with a block on top, so that they are both going to be able to power the hopper. And I have a block going up here, that's part of the next circuit. I'll explain that when I get that far. But you want to have 1 item in one of the hoppers, and all these blocks aren't really needed, just to help place things. And to get the signal, I'll just have a comparator here and a block here that keeps the light on when the crusher is active and when the piston on top is going to be closed. So every time you hit the button, this dust turns off, which stops powering the hoppers up here. And 1 tick later, this torch comes on, which powers the dust again, and it gives it just enough time for the item to cycle 1 time through the hoppers. So every time I press the button, it's going to swap places in here. So the next thing that you need is a pulse limiter here, which is going to go into the timer. So you want a repeater at 4 ticks the dust and the torch there, and then coming up here, and then the torch on the side to go to the timer. Now there are 2 repeaters going into the timer, because every time the timer cycles, it's going to have the items in a different side of the timer. I made a video on the timer. It's in my channel if you want a more detailed description of the timer. But for now, I'll just show you how it's supposed to look. Hoppers facing into each other. Dust going up onto blocks on the sides, and compares that can be in any mode, doesn't affect anything. Repeaters at 1 tick, and to get the signal out of it, blocks on top of the torches, and depending on which side the items are in, one of these torches will always be on when the timer is running. So you want 22 items in one of the hoppers, and that'll give you the perfect time to get them 1 hit from dead. And there's blocks on top of there, and then coming across here to the pistons, 1 block behind the top piston, and then the dust coming up to that block. Gonna need a block here to separate the pulse limiter, and a slab right here. And what this does is it prevents the signal from going down, but it lets it go up. So when the timer is running, one of these torches will be on, and that will disable the flip-flop over here. So spamming the button will not break the timer, because you don't want multiple pulses going to the timer. It has to completely finish before it will work on another pulse. So that's the whole circuit there. I hope I was clear enough on how to make it work, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can make a follow-up video or answer them personally. Whatever you need. The one thing missing is the torch right here. So it's 9.5 seconds roughly to get the mobs down to half a heart, which will kill them in 1 punch. As you can see, everything's working as it should. Top piston closes. A couple ticks later, the bottom crusher pistons come in, and then they retract, and the top one stays out, giving you time to punch the ones and then let more in without interfering. So this is the best design I've seen so far. If I'm wrong, please show me a better one, but thanks for watching. Bye.